see is a brilliant transformation that is going on, and artificial intelligence seems to be quite a fundamental aspect in the future transformations that are gonna come. So, in this discussion, in this summit, today we're gonna discuss what is basically the future of artificial intelligence, where will it go to, how will it impact our way of working, how will it impact the job scenario across the world. We will try to make a probabilistic approach, and we will also try to discuss some of the facts and figures that are basically visible in the sense that it may be impactful in future. So nowadays, artificial intelligence has been a quite common trend. You know, most of us are quite familiar with artificial intelligence and this term specifically, though we do not really know very deep or very inside of it. But it's still a fancy term. But will it be a common normal of the future? So we will try to see those aspects. So before just the start, let me give a quick introduction about myself. I'm Snehasish. Uh, I'm basically a AI explorer, as we are discussing with the topic today. And apart from that, apart from being a normal student, I'm currently serving as a web developer at Bolt IIT. I've also been a semi-finalist at the Bosch AI Hackathon conducted at the Tech Gladiators platform. And in association with that, I'm also a semi-finalist in the Cognizant Code Gladiators competition. So it was just recently conducted. And plus, I'm an ultimate milestone achiever in the Google Cloud Facilitator program that was also recently conducted. These all achievements are just uh, this year's achievement, I could say. And beside being a working fellow, I love technology. I am a tech enthusiast. I just read about new things, explore new technologies, new tech savvy things. And yeah, I love drones. I'm just mad of doing anything with drone. I'm a drone guy. I even have many drones in my home. And apart from that, I love to do technical skills apart, just like technical writing or something like that. So these are my, what you could say, achievements or qualifications, whatever you may say. And yeah, if you wanna connect to me in LinkedIn, you can just scan this QR code, because I thought instead of putting a link, it would be quite, crazy thing to copy the link. Instead, if you just click a snapshot of this picture, so you could easily connect with me in LinkedIn. I won't suggest you to connect with me in GitHub, because nowadays I'm not so active in GitHub. But yeah, surely I once upon a time I was quite active, quite competitive at GitHub platform, specifically in terms of open source contribution. Nowadays I seem to be more of a tech enthusiast. So yeah, so let's start the discussion of today. So first of all, the first and foremost question that comes in our mind is, why is this topic? Means, why have I chosen this topic? Why is it really important to think about artificial intelligence and how it gonna shape the future? Well, as we know, we are human beings. We always, love to predict about future, predict something that is odd from the rest. So, you know, it makes a quite decent sense to taste the future, to see how the future would look. Just to imagine a scenario just 2 decades ago, if someone would have told you that you can just get the whole world in your just in a small piece of device that can be held in your hand, you would basically would have laughed at that fellow or that guy. But just after a few years, it's true. And technology is revolutionizing so fast that It seems that it is just unpredictable at means beyond our imagination it can go. So that's why I thought we could have used this topic to understand what is the real sense and how we gonna see the future, what could be the scenery of the future. So the basic topic was that the impact of artificial intelligence on job market. So we will cover that part as well. As per that, we will also see some different aspects how AI could impact job in both constructive way as well as in destructive way. That is in a sense of a positive as well as a negative side. As you know, everything has its own positive and negative aspect. So we will be covering with those all aspects. So yeah, as I described, that automation is increasing day by day. Yeah, it's true that many CEOs of many big tech companies, including some of the Fortune 500 companies, say that by 2025, approximately many of the skilled workers, uh, you would have to just reskill yourself. The demand of future would not be a skilled person, not only be a skilled person, but also a multi-skilled, a multi-talented person, because competition is increasing day by day. And it's not really possible to just have a same set of skills without really updating it. You could not compete with the rest of the world. So that's why we are here to discuss with this topic. So we will also see some of the comparisons that under the topic, will artificial intelligence surpass human intelligence? We will see that, and what future waits for us, what will be the exact future, and yeah, will job prices increase in the years to come? Let's see whether it's true or not, how much fact is there in this whole terminology. And how can we future proof our career? Definitely, that's a very important aspect. Everybody wants to have a good foundation of future. Everybody dreams of a good future. So we will see that as well. And yeah, finally we will conclude this session with some good things, with some good tips as well. So without wasting time, let's start. Okay. So before going into very deep of it, let us first know what is artificial intelligence all about. What is it? So basically, there are three aspects of artificial intelligence. The first one is known as the narrow artificial intelligence. You could simply say it as ANI, artificial narrow intelligence. So what is it? Well, it is basically specializes in one particular area. That is, for instance, you are training a model. The model will be capable of identifying a particular set of values, a set of data. It will not be a multi-aspect trained model. So it basically confers to the ANI, or artificial narrow intelligence. Now, as we know that machine intelligence equals or exceeds human intelligence in terms of efficiency, absolutely. Computers are far more efficient than humans in a particular task. When we program a computer, it's always faster than humans, and there could be no comparison with that. We all know that. So very good example are the smartphone apps, spam filters, the Google text-to-speech converters, Google search, as well as if you may have used the Google Lens, it automatically captures the text in the sentence or in the picture. So it basically confers to the field of narrow artificial intelligence that is capable of doing a specific task. Now, what is general intelligence? Now, general intelligence is also known as general artificial intelligence. It confers to the those aspect of artificial intelligence, or those part of artificial intelligence in which you refer to a computer that is as smart as almost comparable to a human, though not completely comparable to a human, but almost it is capable of being trained in a multi-aspected or multi dominated model. So for instance, you can give an example like this. A model will be capable of identifying, spam messages, spam emails, as well as it will be capable of identifying deepfake videos. Deepfake is something what you just inscribe your words onto some other person's word just by getting his face or getting his video. Nowadays, deepfake technology are far more intelligent than the previous one. All you need to do is just get a picture of that person and you can inscribe a whole video in the words of that person. So deepfake is that. And there are some cross technologies as well that identifies deepfakes, classifies them as spam. So don't worry, it's not that deepfake can be done so easily. It can be easily caught as well. Not easy, but yeah, it's tough, but it can be done. So general artificial intelligence confers to those models. That is, it can be trained in a multi-aspect, in a multi-domain field. And now the future tech thing, it's basically a super imaginable thing. Currently the technology is not up to that capability that anything could be to the level of super intelligence, though there are many firms that are trying to compensate with this model super intelligence. So what is this super intelligence means? So it's super artificial intelligence is basically an intellect in the sense it is basically a hypothesis that has been done that is much smarter than even the best human brains, practically in almost every field you could imagine of, including creativity. Creativity is quite inquisitive to human beings. Just like emotions, a robot or a computer cannot understand emotion, cannot understand the feeling of joy, happiness, and sadness, etc. These all are capabilities of a, what I could say, a human being or an animal in a whole general aspect. But these can be programmed into the super artificial intelligence capability type of system, though these systems don't really exist. This is just a hypothesis of future model. So this is, you could say, our thinking of the future, how future robots or future systems could be. So superintelligence ranges from a computer that would be a little smarter than a human to trillion times smarter than across the whole world of humans. So yeah, these aspects are currently in trend, but we are still way too far from achieving these intelligence level, though AI is getting comparable to human intelligence because as technology is increasing day by day, as technology is advancing, so artificial intelligence seems to be capable of all the human aspects of all the human terminologies what humans are capable of. So what's next? Let's see. So as you could see, it's a sort of a colorful Venn diagram. So in a whole aspect, in just a brief, I'm telling you whatever has been written in this slide. Well, as I could see that in the big circle, it's named as artificial intelligence. Okay, the medium sized circle is named as machine learning, and the small circle is named as deep learning. What we could say, if you all are familiar with Venn diagrams, most of us are familiar with. So what is it meaning? That artificial intelligence is a superset of machine learning, and in turn, machine learning is a superset of deep learning. So basically, we could say the heart of artificial intelligence lies in deep learning. That is the basic aspect of artificial intelligence. All the models, everything that you see are just complex mathematical models that are incubated inside the deep learning model. Machine learning is training on those fundamental principles of deep learning on a particular labeled or unlabeled data set, whatever, it will depend upon the model. And finally, this in whole general aspect, we say it as a artificial intelligence. So this is basically the whole thing that has been written in this slide. Though I'm just briefing it. Let's see what's next. So as we could see here, AI is a broad field of study dedicated to complex problem solving. And another thing that I wanted to tell, that I heard from most of the guys, most of students even say me that it's very important to be good in mathematics in order to pursue a career in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Well, I've talked with many persons who have been researching in these areas, and I could say you that it's not really that. It's a sort of myth, in the sense that yeah, a little bit of mathematics is surely needed in almost every domain. Mathematics is needed, whether it's little, whether it's a little more. In terms of programming as well, we need the basic mathematics. So artificial intelligence or deep learning, whatever, in this whole domain, mathematics plays an important role. But it's not that if you're not good in mathematics, you cannot pursue a career in the field of ML and AI. It's not really the fact. There have been many examples who are not really good in mathematics, who are not really genius, fellows, genius, remarkable achievers in math, but still they have done some great things in this field. So it's not at all true. What it really requires, yeah, you need a basic knowledge of mathematics, but the biggest thing is that the visualization of a model. If one can imagine of how a model could behave in a particular situation, how to train that model, that's gonna be far more technically more advanced as compared to what skills or what mathematical skills specifically you have. So it's just a myth, I would say. Yeah, mathematics is yeah, of absolutely important in every field of science. Maths is important. It's not a new thing. So yeah, that's the myth, and I just told you a myth buster. So let's see what's in the next slide. All right. So it the graphs that you see here, so what it describes is that in future, approximately 5 years from now, these are taken from many relative magazines, relative news and etc. So these are all probabilistic means whatever you could say figures. Don't believe that these are perfectly means dominant situations that will exist in future. Any prediction is not perfect. We all know that. No, not at all. Even the best predictors cannot predict the future at 100%. So these are all probabilistic figures that have been taken from various sources. If I would have mentioned all these sources, there would have been no page or no space. Okay, so the first graph shows that AI will allow us to sustain a competitive advantage. Well, yeah, that's true. There will be many services, approximately to about 84% in the future, that AI will be capable of handling out of 100% in this case. So what it indicates is that we will get many services, including, as we could see in nowadays, we see some chat bots, like they can chat with you with some basic conversations, uh, excluding some exceptions. So they can handle that. The IVRS system is not a part of AI, is not an example of AI, but these are all services that are electronically dominated. So AI can also become, you could think that in future, the customer care assistant that talks to you could be just a robot. You could think of that, though it may not be capable of handling any speech that is out of that particular program's exception, But yeah, still there is a chance when chatbots are quite popular. It can still be in future. There could be many such technical aspects or technologies to be implemented in future. The graph below, the first graph shows that AI will allow us to move into new businesses. Well, that's absolutely true. In fact, we could see that how AI can just allow us to do a business without even having a shop in real sense. Approximately 75% in future. This will jump to 75%. Now it's approximately globally, I think it's 35%, but yeah, it will surely jump. If you would have heard of Amazon Web Services, they provide AI service as well under the AWS Web Service. So what this service is for means, who are the customers of this service? Imagine that you are hosting a small business in one part of the world, and you want that the documents that are being given to you or processed each of the time in your office, you want it whole system, you want it to be automated. In that sense, you could just upload the snapshots of the documents to AWS cloud servers, and that can be automatically typed or text generated. Whatever service you want can be done. So these have lifted the problem of IT department or the burden of having a IT sector as well for the running a business. So these will be advantageous in one sense, but yeah, you could say that it will also generate some joblessness, because those who will be working in the IT sector will get jobless. Well, yeah, that's true. Whenever something good happens, it has some negative associated with it. A good cannot happen in a complete good sense. So that is another